In this video, I'm going to show you how to mod your metal drifter yo-yo to make it unresponsive. And in fact, this mod is so easy and so simple, some people wouldn't even consider it a mod. It's more of a tune-up. But either way, it works really well. It makes yo-yo like the metal drifter perfectly unresponsive. So it's a great thing to do. It'll help the yo-yo play better, sleep longer, just make it more useful in general. The same mod will also work for other Duncan yo-yos like the Freehand. It'll work for the Freehand Zero light up yo-yo. Pretty much any Duncan yo-yo that uses a size A bearing and has recessed brake pads. So anyway, all you need is the yo-yo that you want to mod, the thin silicone brake pads that we have, and also a clean size A bearing. These bearings that we have, they're a little bit higher quality than the bearings that come in the Duncan yo-yos. They'll help the yo-yo sleep longer and just play better in general, so that's a good way to go. So we sell all these things as a kit with your metal drifter yo-yo, and sometimes some other Duncan yo-yos as well if you want to get the whole package to make the yo-yo unresponsive. Might also help if you have a cup of coffee handy. It's not strictly necessary, but it's nice. So once you've got everything in place, then all you do is you're going to take your yo-yo apart, of course, and you're going to take this old bearing right off the yo-yo, just set it off to the side. You won't really be needing that anymore. And of course, we're going to replace it with this new bearing. But before we do that, we're going to need to replace the brake pads with these new thin ones. So all you want to do is you're just going to dig your thumbnail into there, try to get all the glue off, as much glue as you possibly can. And if you pull the brake pads off in a nice smooth motion, then you have a greater chance of getting the glue off, of getting them off in one piece. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but it helps. So you can see it comes off pretty easy. There's still a little bit of glue there, but it's not a big deal. So yeah, once you get that brake pad off, of course you won't need that. You can just ball that up and throw it away. Then you're going to take one of your brake pads off of here and see if you can separate that. Sometimes it comes off with the whole ring there, and if it does that, you just have to push through and get that centerpiece out. It's like a donut hole, but you don't need that. You can't eat that, of course. So you're going to take that, and these pads are thinner and they're also more narrow, so it's not going to fill up this whole space, but you want to do your best to get it as centered as you can. And you just want to keep it away from the center of the yo-yo just a little bit. You can kind of smooth out any parts on here if it gets a little bit of a ripple in it. But these pads are so thin, even if you get a little bit of a ripple, it's not a big deal. And you can kind of push away from it a little bit to help smooth that out. And when you run your finger over it, you'll notice that you can't really feel it too much. And they just fit in there just like that. And like I said, it doesn't fill up the whole area, but that's actually kind of good because it helps it play even more unresponsive, but it'll still give you a tight bind. Because this is clear silicone, it's actually going to last quite a bit longer than the Duncan pads that came in the yo-yo. In fact, it may even outlast the life of the yo-yo. I was using a yo-yo like this for about 2 years before I had to change the pads out. They might not last that long for you, but it's a pretty good option. Once you get the pads on both sides changed out, again, you just put the bearing in, take your yo-yo, and bring it back together. Of course, once you get the second pad changed out, which I won't do in this video. And that should pretty much be it. Just throw a new string on there, and your yo-yo will now sleep longer and play unresponsive. And that is how you mod or tune up your metal drifter and other Duncan yo-yos to play unresponsive.